almost there. No way. What is this? You're tuned in to the Eyes Open podcast, where secrets aren't safe and we see it all.
All right, well, let's get this party started. I hope everyone is having a blessed start to their weekend. I know it's going to be a good weekend for me. Weather's not doing too bad. Should have a decent start to the weekend if Trump doesn't start World War III, which, now here's the thing is, what I got to tell a lot of people, okay? This is going to go out to quite a few people, because I've been seeing from the messages to the comments. Here's the thing is, I think a lot of these people, okay, that hit me up with these type of messages about fear-mongering, about, this is just a selling panic, whatever. Listen, log off the internet, okay, check in with a healthcare provider, and get on some medication. That's probably your best bet, okay? Because the internet is not for you, all right? It's not for you. The internet's not for everybody, okay? So that's, let's just start with that. The internet is not for everybody. Just like a lot of things in this world are not for everybody. They can't handle them. They can't deal with them. So if you can't handle what's going on in the world, this world's cooked. Because if we ever did get into a war, everybody is so scared of their own damn shadow that they can't even take hearing anything they see on the internet, okay? People are they got you guys completely in a state of terror all the time. It's completely nuts. And if you actually watch my show and hear what I say, I actually do the opposite, okay? I actually tell you the opposite. I tell you guys are all being brainwashed and mind controlled. Just because I share something that I come across on the internet doesn't mean I necessarily believe it, okay? I've explained this a million times on my show too, but obviously most people don't get it. So if I come across the video, right, and I look at it and I say, wow, this is interesting, I'll share it. Doesn't mean I necessarily believe it. There's conspiracy theories that I talk about on the show that I don't necessarily believe in. Half the stuff that's even ranged to what I say is it's called being inquisitive. It's called asking questions, okay? That's what we used to do back in the day. That's how we figured things out, all right? We asked questions. We threw stuff around. We bounced stuff off of each other. That's how it's supposed to work, okay? But now you got these people, man, it's like they freak out. You post something, they're all the way, already raged up and freaked out about everything. And then saying like, oh my gosh, he's creating fear amongst his audience and saying this and saying, I'm not, if you watch what I even say, like I said, I tell you guys, you're all being played in a sense, okay? That's with like my perspective on this whole war talk, okay? With what's going on with Trump. First of all, and people will go, because it's not as black and white as you think it is, okay? What they're doing is, they're feeding you guys a narrative to keep your mind moving in a certain cycle. Because some people be like, oh, it's a distraction from the Epstein files. No, that's why Trump's doing this. It's to do away with the midterm elections. No, it's essentially to get you thinking like that. So if you're even thinking like that, they got you right where they want you. They want you not knowing which end is up. Okay? A state of confusion. That's the best way they can keep you, is in a state of confusion. So we're like, oh, it's the Epstein files. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. You're running in so many different directions. You don't even know, like I said, which end is up. That's where they win. That's how they beat you. That's how they get you to believe what they want you to believe. That's how they mold and shape your mind. It's actually textbook mind control. It's textbook programming through propaganda if you look into it. If you study how people are brainwashed, mind controlled through propaganda, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. It's textbook. And when you study these things like I do, you can see them. You can spot them from a mile away. So it's like none of this stuff is surprising to me. Even when, if you guys were watching, I'm sure a lot of you guys weren't around back then, but this was back in, when did he bomb Iran? Was that like September or something, or October? Back when he bombed Iran, okay? I was doing lives where we were showing on the TV the bombing in Israel and the bombs going off and all that stuff and the missiles coming in. We were watching it live, and then we were watching the riots that were going on. So there was a whole bunch of stuff that was going on that I was reporting on, and we were watching it live. Now, I called it. I told everybody, and they're like, oh, no, this is it, man. We're going to World War III and yada, yada, yada. I said, no, what's going on is this is really what I believed at the time. And I you know, I still do. It's probably a little bit bigger than this, but it was definitely played a big part of it. Trump was trying to run the markets down so him and his buddies could run in more, because crypto tanked down, okay? And then that's when, as soon as it tanked down, all right, just like, for example, somebody that's close to him seemed to have shorted Bitcoin when right before he announced the tariffs on China, and it tanked. So somebody definitely, and it sounds like it was probably Barron or somebody had some inside knowledge. I heard the wallets are linked to his family, like Barron or somebody. So somebody knew he was going to do that. So you have to understand, Trump is a grade A con man. All right. He always has been. And that's why giving him a high office like that, he's going to use it to his benefit all day long, like all day long. And it's funny because people are like, well, and what's even more frustrating is the people that don't even see him for who he is at this point. I mean, if you guys, I got people on Facebook that I see that you were diehard Trump supporters that are even like hanging up their hats or showing their hats. They say, and they're done. They say, I'm done, man. After this whole Epstein stuff and he's doing nothing about it, I'm done with him. So even the most diehard Trump people I've seen are finally seeing it. I seen it a while ago, and I'm glad I did. But like I said, even the diehard Trump supporters are hanging their hats up. If you can't see what he's doing and already has been doing, I can give it to you in simple examples, okay? He claims he's against the deep state, right? That's what you guys actually believe. And he's against those jibby jabbies. But who was the one who was taking all the credit for him? Him, Mr. Operation Warp Speed. Okay, he said he hates all these tech people. He hates the deep state and all these people. He's going to drain the swamp. Okay, who was he inviting to the White House months ago? Big old tech dinner they had. Everybody from old Zuck to Gates to you name it. We're all there. All buddy, all smiling. They even had, like Kevin Annett said, they had Hillary. They showed a picture of him and Hillary with the Pope not long ago at a dinner, and they're laughing together. Okay, that's the put her in jail, lock her up, all the rhetoric they feed you guys, because they do this, man, and it's so aggravating. But it's not. It's more not so much aggravating. Wouldn't be the word for it. It's disheartening, is probably a better word, to see them using this to manipulate you guys, like left and right, and people fall for it. They don't even realize it's all a big movie. Okay, it's all a big movie. It really is. And that's the simplest way to put it. And they're going to do it again with the same type of stuff. Like I showed in one of the subscriber reels I did yesterday, lots of major war events have happened in the month of March. Okay, it's even symbolic in the name, March. What do troops do? They march. Okay, march forward. All right. Spring is coming. Spring forward. It's all in the wording to what they put right in front of your guys' face. But war might come next month. It's very likely, especially with the blood moon and all the stuff that's going on. It's very likely. And like I said, for the people who cannot deal with reality, okay, if war comes, it comes. Okay, whatever happens, happens. All right, you people need to get a little bit thicker skin. You need to stop getting on the internet and freaking out and crying over everything and just absorbing everything in a sense. That's what you do. All right. If I did that, I would, man, from the stuff I see and research all the time, if I got completely, if I let the things that I see daily that I research completely overtake my mind and my thought process and really took it all in, I would lose my mind. Absolutely. So it's like, you guys need to know what to take in, what to dispel, or even when to turn the switch on and turn the switch off. Go read into some stuff and just let it go. Go spend some time with your family, okay? Go outside and get some fresh air. All right, stop taking everything so serious. Because what's funny is, look at it this way, to the person who lives on a remote island, to the person who lives out in the wilderness, to the person who doesn't have a TV or even know what's going on, do they care? Is it even going to matter? This so-called war would probably come and go without them even knowing it happened. So think about that. What's the real weapon then that's being used against you? It's the media. It's what you're watching. It's what you're listening to. So don't go and watch the news and listen to those talking heads, all right? Just straight up balloon heads feeding you guys a bunch of propaganda and then have the audacity to come on my show and tell me, oh, you're fear-mongering. If you can't handle what I'm talking about, then, kick rocks, dude. I don't care. You're not needed, all right? That's the craziest thing, too, is I don't even hold myself in a regard like that. But a lot of you randos come on this page and, man, you guys have a real high opinion of yourself because you're like, well, I'm going to unfollow this page and I'm not going to follow you. Well, dude, I don't even know who you are, okay? But a lot of you know a lot about me and when you comment, because in the comments are very personal what you guys say for different things, okay? You know way too much about me. So you definitely been hanging around for a while and watching me. Think about it. You know so much about me, I don't even know who you are. All right. There's a lot of you good people. I do know who you are. So if it's somebody I knew was like, hey, I don't appreciate that. And I'm not going to, I'm leaving your page. That would maybe be different if I knew who you were. But even then, like I said, I'm unapologetically myself. I'm not going to put on a facade or a fake filter to please anybody. When I start doing that, I stop being me. All right. I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. So whenever I say something, it just is what it is, all right? It's not fear-mongering. If anything, I tell you guys to find joy and peace in Jesus Christ. I tell you to go have a relationship with Christ. I don't tell you guys to go live in fear. I'm simply reporting on what's going on. If you can't handle that, then shut it off, all right? If you people cannot handle what's going on in the world, then maybe you shouldn't have the internet. Maybe you shouldn't have a TV. Maybe you should just go off and read a book or something. Stay in a, like they say, ignorance is bliss. Stay in a state of willful ignorance, if that makes you feel better. But me personally, I have the ability to tune it on or turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. If you don't have the ability to do that, then maybe the internet's not for you. Because they're going to have you guys in a state of complete disarray with the wars they're trying to sell you guys. And what does the Bible say? Wars and rumors of wars. Okay? So I'm not even going to say, for example, I'm not going to say, I'm going to tell you what I think. Like, I think March is going to be the month that they jump it off this year. It's looking like that. Could it not be? Maybe not. But either way, you shouldn't live in a state of fear. I'm never pitching that. So whoever's saying that, you're a moron. All right. I'm not pitching that to anybody. That's how you are taking it in, as fear mongering, because you're just scared. All right. If you're scared, bro, go home. All right. That's what it is. That's what we say. If you're tired, go to sleep. All right. Stop pushing your insecurities off on other people. That's what you need to stop doing. Some people enjoy, knowing what's going on and being informed. So that's what I'm saying is, if you can't handle it, sign off. Because there's going to be things coming, all right? If you guys can't handle the state of the world now, or even if it does break out in war, you guys better really get right with Jesus Christ, because you will not want to be around, when things get really bad during tribulation. You are not going to want to be here. All right, you need to go read your Bible and see what it's going to be like. You're not going to want to be here. And that's a whole nother discussion. I'm not going to go light that crowd on fire this morning and get everybody a fire under their butts, because that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. But as far as this whole war talk, okay, all they're doing is they're selling you guys a prepackaged message that they need you to prescribe to. As soon as you prescribe to it, all right, you're locked in. They got you. You're locked into that mind frame. You're listening to what they're telling you. You got to get away from that. That's why they call it television programming. It's right in the words. That's what's crazy, is because of their, I'm sure because of their karmic retribution, because they're a bunch of, satanic pedos, they have to tell you what they're doing. So they're like, oh, television programming. So they're telling you visually to program yourself to what they're telling you. Because notice, you'll never see the media tell you to think for yourself. You'll never hear that. All right? You'll never have them say, oh, you know what? But go do your own research. Think for yourself. You'll never hear those types of words on the news. You'll hear them here, though. I always tell people, go do your own research. Don't listen to me. And that's just what it is. If I post something, notice the question marks. Okay? I posted a video last night about, will 2/22/26 be a day to remember, with a question mark. Okay? That means I'm asking a question. Asking you guys, in a sense, what do you think? All right? That's how my show has been really formed. I make some statements of fact, but a lot of the time I'm just simply discussing. Okay? I'm asking questions. I want to know myself. I'm not a know-it-all. You only learn by realizing you don't know anything. That's when you can truly start to learn stuff. I don't know a lot about a lot of stuff that's going on, but I want to know. So the only way I'm going to know is by researching, sharing, discussing with everybody out there like you guys, and that's how you figure stuff out. But people want to dig this own hole for themselves of despair, where they think, even if you start talking about, war or the potential of World War III breaking out, that it's fear-mongering. No, it's called preparation. That's like saying somebody who's a prepper that keeps food on hand, keeps all this type of emergency stuff in case something goes wrong. And we noticed that with those huge snowstorms that they had on the East Coast. Everybody's freaking out, all right, going and buying the stores out and whatever. You all wait until there's an emergency before you actually take action, okay? But then the people who are prepared, you call them crazy. Oh, you're living in a state of fear because you got all this food or all this stuff and you're stocked up. So they're living in a state of fear. But what are you doing when something goes down and you're rushing out to the store and doing all that stuff? It makes zero sense. It's a complete contradiction. So that's just what it is. Will war come? Possibly. I mean, honestly, with all the Epstein talk and people are in a huge uproar about that, maybe that's how they wanted you guys. So that way they can start war, deflect, and it'll make more sense to people. But will war come next month? Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. But I'm simply saying, keep your eyes open to what's going on around you. There's nothing wrong with being informed, okay? And if you're the one doing it, stop it. Stop telling people it's wrong to be informed, okay? And if you want to be informed, stay informed, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Stay close to Christ, okay? Have a good relationship with Christ. Read your Bible. Stay close to Christ. And just keep your eyes open to what's going on around you. There's nothing wrong with being aware of your surroundings and what's going on, all right? You just have to learn to deal with it. And really, that becomes a personal problem.